Bitcoin is pushing for new all-time highs, and in this video I'm going to cover if this is the time to be bearish or are we pushing for new all-time highs this week. So this is the trade setup that I've shared with you last week on YouTube update. You can go and check it out. It's not in hindsight. It's not a fake update or a fake setup. This is the exact setup that I've shared with you last week. I've told you, wait until the 4-hour candle closes right here, and if we are above the previous month's value area low, we have an 80% chance of having a full value rotation and going up to previous month's value area high. This is one of the best setups in the market. It works extremely well on Bitcoin and on the US market. So if you're trading prop firms, if you're trading Bitcoin, if you're trading Nasdaq, know about this setup. I've taught you in tag team. If you're not a member yet, please be a member, learn about it. But this is one of the best and highest quality setups in the market at the moment. Now, it's still active, and I'm going to tell you why or how can we go to new all-time highs this week. So the first thing to consider here is, are we looking bearish? Are there signs of bearish absorption on the market? Because after this, after Bitcoin, I'm going to cover Ethereum as well and tell you, is this the time to short Ethereum either? Now, let's go and switch back to Exocharts because we have to look at what's happening on the order flow. It's really important to the market. Now, what we are seeing here is we have a local high on the chart. This was put in today, and then we tried to go above it once again, and we couldn't. And then now we are seeing this small drop on the chart down to $121,000. So you might be considering, if you have a long position, closing your long, or you might be considering, well, should I long the market here? Should I take a short position here since we are coming down now? Well, I'm going to answer your question really in a smart way because I don't make predictions. I don't tell you what the price will do. I tell you what are the highest probability scenarios on the chart. So at this moment on the chart, what we are seeing is we are seeing shorts entering the market as the prices are pushing down. And usually, if you're seeing people shorting the market, thinking that we have a high on the chart, what ends up happening is we end up sweeping those highs before making a real decision on the market. So how do I know people are shorting the market? Well, the CVD is pushing lower. As you can see that the CVD here was at this moment at $200 million. Now we are at $282 million. So there has been 60 million more shorts coming in as the prices were pushing higher, which is a great sign of bullish absorption on the market. Plus, we have seen the open interest increase over the last hour or so on the chart, which again signifies us that people are indeed entering the market. And if you want a bit of a trick here as well, here are the net shorts on the chart as well. Net shorts are clearly increasing as the prices are hovering in this zone. We have 2.6 million, we have 9.2 million, and we have 19.2 million at the highs right here. So this is crucial to the market. People are shorting at these levels. So as the prices are hovering around here, is this the best time to short the market? I don't think so. There is no guarantee that the price won't come down and fill the CME gap to start New York session, but that's not the most likely outcome right now. And what I always do is I look for setups that are 80% win rate, 90% win rate, or even sometimes 95% win rate. And in this case, shorting the market is not the highest probability setup on the chart. Can it still happen? Can the prices come down? Yes, they can, but it's just not the setup that I'm looking for right now. Therefore, since we still have bullish absorption on the market, I'm still looking for higher prices, and specifically I'm looking for a new all-time high on Bitcoin. What would invalidate my setup right here? I do believe if we are able to come below previous month's value area high, this would give us a chance to come down and have that full value rotation once again on the market down to $116,000. So if we lose this value area high, I do believe it opens up the gates for us to fill the CME gap and then come to previous month's value area low once again. And if we lose this zone, I will be taking profits and having a trailing stop loss on most of my long positions on Solana, XRP, and we'll see about Bitcoin. Probably I will keep it because it's from $102,000. It's a pretty good long position. I have no intention of closing it prematurely, so we'll see what happens with that one. So I don't favor lower prices so far. Now, how does that relate to what could happen on New York session? Well, If New York session opens up with more shorts coming in on the market and you're seeing a big push down on the market back down to 120.8, 120.5, I think what you can do there is you can watch out for how many single prints are being filled right here. You can see we have a lot of inefficiencies right here, and usually when we have these inefficiencies, they first act as support, and if there is no support in this zone, they get filled in full. So in this case, they are still support, and if you're seeing the prices come down on New York session and have a big instant buyback on the chart, that's a clear sign that there's a big player who has long orders sitting here, which push the price up at this point and now holding the price up at these levels as well. So look out for what happens on New York session. If you see price come down in these levels and you're seeing an instant buyback here, there's a good sign that there's a big player who have long orders sitting in this zone. And if that is the case, obviously we don't want to go against the big players who have a lot of money in their hands. So that is my analysis on Bitcoin. I'm still bullish. I'm still looking for higher prices. And I think you could potentially have a long position on New York session as a scalp as well. As I said, the long position that I would like to play if the New York session opens up bearishly is I would look for, let's say the price does this and New York opens up here and we see a big sweep right here and we see an instant buyback like this. You can have a potential long position like so on the chart. This would be a risky one and you would have to take profits as we take out potentially these highs on the chart, but again, we are at $121,000. I don't think you're going to have a great long position at this point, but these are scalp longs that you can take and potentially take up to new all-time highs on the chart. So that is my analysis on Bitcoin. I hope I made sense. I'm still looking for higher prices because that is the most likely outcome on the chart. This has been the case yesterday as well. This is our Discord channel, the tag team. You can see I've said the same thing to my team as well. We had an important level on the chart. It was the session MPOC level of a London session yesterday, and it was at 118.84. If this level was lost, I would have turned my bias a bit more bearish and I would have looked for the CME gap to be filled. But you can see how well it reacted, and then this reaction gave the push to $121,000 on the chart as well. So I was not bearish yesterday, and you can see here as well. We are starting to see some local divs on Bitcoin. As long as we are above the session MPOC, we are still bound for higher. If lost, look for the previous month's value area low again. And at this point, I was bullish, and today we have the same scenario as well. Even if you believe the prices will drop to fill the CME gap, it's impossible to justify a short position with the current order flow. We always play the odds and we always look for the best setups on the market. So if you have any questions, please let me know. This is my analysis on Bitcoin. I am long on every single asset class there is, and I don't have a reason to close it so far. Now, on to ETH. This is really important to the market as well because currently we are just bouncing from the point of control of this range, as you can see. And I think this is pretty crucial to the markets because ETH looks bullish. And now we still have a good structure on the chart, which is still above the 2024 highs. You can see 2024 highs comes in at 4111. And we are hovering above it with a low, a high, a higher low, a higher high, and now potentially coming in for another higher low on the charts. The reason I'm looking for these prices to be the high or lows on the chart is because if we are testing the 2024 highs after having a successful breakout, I don't think that is a great sign of bullishness on the market. I think what is more bullish is if we continue pushing higher on the market and not giving people the opportunity to enter longs. This looks really similar to the breakout we had on Bitcoin in 2024 because everyone is sidelined on this one. At that point, when we had that breakout in 2024, you could remember the same thing as well. When Trump got elected, people weren't overexposed to longs. People got long after Trump was elected. And I think we have the same case here as well. I think people are not overexposed to Ethereum, and there is still a lot of equity that could go onto this chart, which could get us up to $4,500 first, and then to new all-time highs next on the market. What is another bullish case for Ethereum, which makes me believe that this trend is strong and we can still push for new all-time highs? Well, the order flow. Let's look at what's happening on Exocharts to explain to you why I still believe we can go higher on the chart. So this is the point of control graphic and the open interest graphic of Ethereum. We can see that when we were at $2,000 on Ethereum, the open interest we had was $380 million. And now we are at basically new highs, and we have doubled the price, and open interest has gone up around $70 million up to $440 million. So that number might not seem like anything to you. That might, it might just seem like any other thing. But the reason why this number and $70 million open interest increase is really important is because of how it plays out compared to the previous trend that we had on Ethereum in 2024. So remember this number, right? From this low, from 2,000 up to 4,000, we had a $70 million increase in open interest. So let's check out what's happened on our previous time that we had an increase from $2,000 up to $4,000 back in 2024. Well, the open interest at the lows were $230 million. And you might think, well, did it go up to $300 million? Did it go up to 350? It went up to $740 million. We have seen an open interest surge of $500 million as the prices were pushing up at this point. That is so significant compared to what we are having right now, which for some people could seem like a bearish case because we're not seeing much open interest increase. But the fact that we were able to test the same levels with only $70 million increase in open interest is such a bullish case, because it's a classic market theory. Once people have invested in a certain asset class and seen that the prices are pushing higher, the chances of them entering that asset class again, once it looks it's the talk of the market, increases significantly. So in this case, this increase in price took us $500 million of open interest to get there. This price increase took us $70 million of open interest increase, which means there is still $400 million open interest increase that could come in as the price is pushing higher, which is one of the most bullish cases for Ethereum. That is why I'm still looking for higher on Ethereum. What would invalidate this case would be if we start having candles. I would say if we have a daily candle that comes in below this ABC right there at $4,000 or below it, I think that is a big sign of a loss of bullish momentum on the market. Therefore, currently, I'm still looking for higher prices on the chart and potentially for new all-time highs. Now, if that is the case and if that is our thesis, how can you trade this? Well, if you want to trade Ethereum, the best way to trade this is by using the VWAP. You might remember this from the how to trade all-time highs video that I've had on Bitcoin. And if you have not watched that video, it's one of my best videos ever. I'm going to put a link in the description as well. Watch it because it will be as effective for Ethereum as it effective for Bitcoin. So please go and watch that one. It's so crucial. It's free. It's on YouTube. It's one of my best works ever. So what I want you to pay attention to this week and next week and basically all of August is when and where is the VWAP. Now you can see as the prices were pushing up, the daily VWAP was reacting so well. You can see here, this was the first bounce we had, this was the second bounce, the third bounce, and now yesterday we were hovering around this zone because it was the weekend, it's the classic price action, and now we are below the VWAP. So still, it's not late to use the VWAP yet. So tomorrow, if it opens up and you're seeing the price, let's say, come down, and we are starting a trend once again on the chart, and you're seeing that the VWAP is below the price, use it as support. It's because it's one of the most important levels of support that you can have on your chart, because it's the volume weighted average price. And if the volume keeps increasing on Ethereum, if the more open interest comes in on the chart, you'll see that the VWAP will be more and more effective as the price is pushing higher and testing that level and finding support at the VWAP. So use it, especially if you see open interest increasing as the days go by. So that is my analysis on Ethereum. I am still bullish on this chart, and I think it looks bullish as long as we are able to stay above $4,000. So that is my analysis on Ethereum. That is my analysis on Bitcoin. I hope I made sense. And if you like this video, please leave a like, because I like seeing your support. Leave a comment about what you think about these things, if there are any concepts that I explain in a bad way, because I love feedback on that regard as well. And if you want to join our community and learn about how to trade these things and learn about our trade setups, tag team is the place to be. We have so many great things about tools and indicators that we love to use, Exocharts, range trading series, risk management and psychology, and now we just started the TPO series on the chart as well. This is one of the most impressive market profile concepts ever, and I love it, and I'm going to teach it to every single member inside the tag team. So if you want that, be a part of our team and learn now. So thank you so much for listening to me, and I will see you in the next YouTube update. Bye bye.